everyone, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So this is the first game of ETC 2024. Very excited to start this series of video. I was facing Subspace with a player from Austria and he was playing Beastard for them. This is my list, you know it already, or you should. And this was my opponent's list, very unusual. He's playing a number of model that is completely crazy. As you can see, 45 centers, 160, I guess, more than 60, Wild Horn in core, and then some Chaff, Longhorn and Bushing, so plenty of stuff. Then minimal magical setup, but still plenty of spell, general BSB. So very special list in Bistro, not something that you face very often with so many bodies on the table. We were playing for this first round Breakthrough on Counter Trust, and below you have the spell selection for both of us. Matchup analysis, so he has a lot of bodies. I had the occasion to talk to about this matchup because it was the first round, so we had time to prepare this. And I had the time to talk about it with a Beastard player, Lichmeister, who is using also Beastard, and yeah, we talked through the matchup. We felt it was going to be playable for me because there's so many models. It would mean huge footprint, so he would struggle to move around the table, and still the one-on-one battle with my big unit should still be steadfast. If I get counter charges, I should be fine, and also he should maybe feel a lack of AP in the main combat. Secondary, try to deploy in a small zone, so I will try to basically focus on combat density on a small part of the map and punish him like kind of for his big footprint. I try to reduce the amount of model that could engage me. My estimation was a 10. So this is all the estimation and the analysis that was done prior to the game, and which is the reason why I came up with an estimation of a 10. We will see now how it goes. So deployment wise, my opponent put the huge brick of Wildhorn in ambush, plus a unit of Longhorn, and also the Brabist in ambush. And then on the map, it will start the following. So I will wander out for side, and we had the time to discuss with one of my teammates before the game. We felt if I took the top, it would put the first drop here, I would be pushed behind the hill, and then he would be able to push behind the hill very strong. And the other part of the map is also not so nice. So we felt, let's take bottom. We will talk at the end if it was the right choice or not. My opponent will start with a big brick of Wildhorn right here. I will then do a unit. I think I placed those guys. Unit of Infernal Warrior right here. After that, he placed Centaurs here on the far left. I continued with a unit of a 90 on the far right to really push him back. And I felt, okay, I'm going to go more to the right. I have the Lugas that can go through, so that should be fine. I put something else, then he dropped for first turn. So we have Centaurs, Wildhorn, Gargoyle scouting. Then we have here a bus of Wildhorn with Ban of Discipline and the characters. Another unit of Wildhorn, the 2 unit of Centaurs. And on my side, I have Overlord, Truck Anointed, Vassal Levies, unit of Lugas, the Bastion. Here we have the Incarnates. We have the Giant here on the far left, and here is the small boss, big boss. Actually 28, it's not much compared to this huge unit of Wildhorn of Blunderbuss. So let's start with this turn 1. He pushed very aggressively, and I think he's right too, because basically he's not fearing my charge, but he still chaffs my main unit to avoid me getting shoot, stand and shoot, and so on. So he's just pushing with the chaff, pushing behind with most of his unit, and here pushing hard on the left. And actually, yeah, it doesn't need to respect me, because if I charge here with the Giant, I'm going to die. If I charge here, I'm going to die. So basically, I have nothing really threatening for him. And I would say here it's more like to block me and maybe tempt me to charge, but more like an aggressive maneuver than really a chaff, because it doesn't really fear my charges here. In his magic phase, he get some buffs on the middle block, I guess, to protect himself a little bit. My turn 1. I charge the chaff, here I move back with the Giant as well. And here I realize, yeah, I was a bit in a tunnel vision, and I kind of forgot about like how do I want to manage the ambush, and then realize, yes, still the ambush might cause me problem in the backline, which is something I should have anticipated a bit better. So I turn around the Lugas and turn around the Giant to basically, yeah, I'm not zoning him, so let's use that elsewhere, and basically I want to avoid him coming on the board here in my backline. So here I get rid of the chaff, the rest move back. This unit here I turn around and prepare some counter charge in case, but still is zoning me very effectively with everything. So even on the right flank I cannot really push forward. So I'm starting to realize that this matchup is actually very complicated for me. In magic phase I get a breast weapon which did a wound somewhere, and that's about it. His turn 2, he gets a charge which was on the 7. I kill some with the stand and shoot, but he has so many bodies, it's not too much of a problem, which is actually the only goal is to pin me down, which is going to succeed. Then he gets every ambush on the board, so he gets a Brabist here to chaff me, but again, I mean, I have no good charges to avoid here the charge here, but everything else here is not so threatening for him. So has no big problem here. He comes in the back of my giant here, and the centaurs continue to push. And as you can see, we quickly realize, I mean, let's see, so many models here. I have no way to deal with them on this left flank, so we see that's going to be a huge issue. At the same time, I have a lot of combat power stuck around an impassable, huge traffic jam. I have no good answers. The counter charge are not so good, so I'm in huge trouble. I realized that before, but here I think it's a very strong picture. You see, I mean, 4 units that I'm not able to manage right now. And it's going to be about, okay, how I can save stuff and try to win time and get rid of the unit on the right, try to bring all this sleeping unit back towards the middle of the map, and it's not going to be easy at all. And at the same time, Lugar's not a good answer against the big unit, so yeah, not so easy for me right now. Magic phase, he gets some buffs. I remember I wasn't so unlucky, he got only 1 buff, I was able to get some dispels, so it could have been worse. I did some wounds, obviously I was steadfast, so I managed to stick, and then it's going to be my turn. So this was the time where I made the timeout with my coach, try to figure out together what are the best options, because I thought I was in huge trouble. So we came with the following solution: use the giant to chaff this unit, use the incarnate to get rid of the Brabist, and then chaff his unit here. So to say, okay, these are a couple of units that I don't want to manage right now. Send everything into this unit to get rid of them and free the Bastion again. Then use this unit to overrun and try to chaff this unit here. And here I need to come out with everything else. So we went with that. So charge here, charge here, charge here, and here chaffing. There is no way that the centaurs can contact me, so that's perfect. Turn around those guys, reform wide, try to get line of sight and move through the impassable next round. But as you can see, it's a huge traffic jam at the moment, and I'm also punished for my own footprint and mistakes in deployment, basically. In the magic phase, I get... what else? I get +1 strength. No, sorry. He got +1 strength, excuse me, last round. I got a Grave Call on the center, skill 3. He broke from combat here. I turn around with the Overlord because by pursuing I could get flank charge potentially, so that could have been really dangerous for me. So I felt, let's stay here with the Overlord. Obviously he could double charge me. I needed like a 10 swift to go out of his line of sight here, but I was too afraid to get the flank charge. So I felt really needed to stay here and then get the counter charge ready to get him after that. Here I pursue, didn't go much, so I stopped like here. And here, yeah, worst case scenario for me, I roll only 2 wounds. That's only my attack. I didn't put the grind here, but basically it's 3 grind on a 6 up, which don't change much. But as you can see, it's like 10% chance of failing him, and I failed him, meaning it's much more annoying for me because I cannot reform the way I want. So I need to find a reform, which is a bit annoying. I cannot face him. So yeah, that's not helping, definitely. He's turn 3, double charge my Overlord, obviously, so I'm ready to get some counter charge, so we'll see how that goes. He double charged my unit here, but since I didn't go that far, he's able to get Gargoyle and this unit, both of them fit. He rallied those guys, so he lost no points, as you can see. And here he double charged me, so we'll see how that goes, but as you can see, I have huge footprint struggle here. I'm hoping the Bastion is still free, because if I charge here, I could get free and then get some nice turn of event, but it's still going to be a problem. As you can see here on the left, I'm in huge issue. Here charge my giant, not so bothered by this combat because I have a good armor save, and here charge me in the flank. Yeah, I couldn't reform otherwise, so yeah, that's very annoying. He is going to eat that, so not so easy for me at the moment. we see that it's a very complicated matchup actually. In the magic phase, he got +1 strength. I think that's about it. The giant did 5 wounds to his 1 wound. And I think he had to stick on a -1. He killed some, but we're still in combat. He broke me, run me down with Gargoyle. And I managed to make the 10 Swift Stride to overrun in my flank, which is very annoying. He did 1 wound or something to my Overlord. He did some wound. I'm still alive. But actually, I'm not able to get any counter charge because this unit here is blocked by the Gargoyle. Those guys are in the front, they cannot fit here. Those guys in the front, they cannot fit here. And those guys have no line of sight to this unit after the reform. And I cannot see here, I cannot fit. So actually I have no counter charge, which is a huge problem, obviously, for me. My turn 3, so I start to move forward, go through here, hoping that maybe if the Overlord survives, I can do something. But and maybe hope that if he gets free here, I can if you make the mistake to charge with this unit, I could flee here and try to rally and then play on this part of the map. But as you can see, it's like an emergency solution, definitely. Yeah, what else here? We're still in combat, so it's going to get here 3 pivots. So yeah, my Bastion very exposed, suffer so many casualties. So it's going to be very hard. In the magic phase, I got a pentagram, kill 2 centers. The giant did 3 wounds. I think we had like a tie combat. And my incarnate, exactly, he did the amount of wounds to pop me due to combat result. So yeah, a bit frustrating. Would have been really nice to block him another turn. And here, that's the problem, the Gargoyle. On average, we should do the same. Basically, I think like 1 wound to each other. But then I have all my static res. And he managed to stick the check. I think it was a -5 rollable. I would say 4 rollable. And he managed to stick it. Which is a huge issue because next is his turn. And then he can just boom charge me. And there is nothing I can do to avoid this. So yeah, that's a huge problem. I can even not reform due to the amount of dwarf that I have in the unit. So yeah, that's basically the end. That's basically the end. The Overlord, I think, didn't die yet. We will see. Yeah, he died. Okay. He's turn 4, so he charged me in the corner. So this unit is going to die. He pushed towards me just in case. Here the centers face me. Those remaining centers move out of the way. Those guys that rallied look at me. Magic phase. I dispel distracting. Got reroll to wound on a big brick. Yeah, he broke me. I had a very complicated check. So I fled, he ran me down, and due to the flee move, I failed the 9 non-rerollable, fled off the board with the Lugars. That definitely had a very bad game. I have only 2 units remaining. Here the Giant's going to break him, run him down, but it's not going to matter much, and we are going to go towards the end of the game. We're going to play with the remaining unit until the end, but I'm not going to be able to avoid 20-0, so very harsh defeat for me. Hard to swallow, to be honest, but yeah, it was a much more complicated matchup than I expected. That's typically the case of a misrated matchup where I didn't see the danger, and as soon as it started, I started to realize how much in trouble I was. I knew that my army wasn't good against mass, but I felt in this particular case I should be able to play it, and actually haven't tried a matchup, and it was just about theory. And since the list is very unusual, I was just surprised by it, and also I made a bad game. On one side, I need to say it was a complicated matchup. It was counter trust and he starts, so it makes stuff even harder, and then it's also breakthrough, which I'm never going to win. But on the other hand, I made multiple mistakes, which put me closer to the 20-0 than saving any points. The ambush wasn't protected at all, so we had a lot of weaknesses to attack. The Lugars were stuck, a huge traffic jam on the right flank. So not only I was outnumbered, but also I caused myself many problems, and I just played very badly in this game. Why? I couldn't explain it. I would say the main reason is definitely not understanding the matchup, which made me play very strangely and not in a good way, because as soon as I realized, oh, I cannot push the right flank, then I'm really stuck, where my expectation at the beginning was I'm going to be able to move out. So yeah, stuff like that, and together with the counter trust, which forced me to already show him a lot of information about my deployment, put me in trouble as well. So definitely I made a lot of mistakes in combination, starting with the rating of the matchup. Yeah, then a couple of events basically didn't help, like the Incarnate being stuck, the overrun of my warrior not being so good, and then his gargoyle able to charge and making the overrun, and then stick. Wasn't able to provide counter charge for the overlord due to this traffic jam, due to the fact that I didn't realize that I wouldn't be able to push forward. So all that stuff, because basically after turn 1 I didn't mention it, but I was unable to push through the impassable with the Lugas, because then if I get charged by one of his big unit, the Lugas will break, and that's the reason why I didn't go through. And since I didn't realize it before, when I did, it was too late, and then the Lugas was stuck. So all that stuff. I was also surprised by the magic. Very effective buff magic. He has 7-8 spell total that are very useful in his combat. Wrong estimation. Very bad display from my part. So very disappointed about my performance in this game. I would say mainly due to the fact that I didn't know the matchup. But definitely something I should have been preparing better for it. And I wasn't able to save something once I realized it was just too late, and yeah, it was always going to crush me with so many models against my army. Let's mention at least something that I could have done better. So definitely I would reconsider the choice of the side. I would say that the top part of the map is definitely better. Obviously he can start to put his main brick here like he did in the other part, so he would have most likely do that. I would have been behind the hill potentially, but at least I don't have an impassable around me. I can block the ambush. I can place all my units quite solid, and he has an impassable, which means that he has no ghost step, so will not be able to place something. So this is giving me a bit breathing space, meaning he will not have so many units in a small part of the map. So I can also try to play on that and anticipate that here is going to be a unit of center most likely, but not a big brick, so that could be a place for the Lugas to play with and stuff like that. So definitely not, I didn't pick the best choices in this game, starting with deployment and the side. So definitely something that some mistakes that I made, and it's always going to be the case. I think it will be very often that you can say, even if you lose 20-0, it's down also to some mistakes. It's not only like luck and it's a bad game. I mean, here I made the first mistake by making the rating of the matchup, which was wrong, and after that I made multiple mistakes in the macro level. And then it was too late. Basically, once I realized and I tried to react, it was just too late for that. And my opponent was able just to play on his advantage. And then he had a couple of good roll at the good moment with gargoyle and stuff, make the charge and stuff like that. And which just made, I think, his big win just quicker, basically. Okay, despite all of that, the round went pretty good. My opponent were able to compensate my losses. So I place a couple of numbers here. It was 93, it's our number after the pairing. So we're quite happy with the pairing. As you can see, like 4 drawish matchup in our expectation, including mine, which was definitely a bad matchup. Then we had a couple of positives, like 4 that we expected to win, which also won. So all of that put together, we were able to reach the cap, but not with a big margin, but yeah. It went quite well with the pairing, despite just me making a huge mistake. Obviously, it was the best point in time, like my colleague told me, to make a mistake, because it wasn't having any effect on the team. But definitely I was disappointed about myself, just having made this mistake in the preparation, and then in the game, I just felt I wasn't able to display my best game, and I am definitely able to play this game much better. But I think it's mainly down, at least that's how I analyze it with a cold head. It's mainly down to the fact that I didn't know the matchup and I made plenty of mistakes. And obviously, if you play it a second time, you can make some better choices, but it's definitely a matchup that I shouldn't have taken. That's it. I would say that's it. So yeah, our ATC start well, not for me, but start well for the team, which is the most important stuff. And we are going to play round 2 against Italy, which is going to be the next battle report. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon on my channel. Bye bye, and thanks to my opponent for the nice game. Congrats to him, he played much better than me, so well deserved victory in this matchup. Goodbye.